name's Jenna and today I'm going to be doing my December wrap up for 2019 and my January TBR for 2020. 2019 is over. I read quite a few books and in December I read 5 books, which is insane. I needed to read quite a few in order to finish my Goodreads reading challenge, which I was very close to not finishing this year for the first time in a very long time. Not a fan of how that turned out, but that's a whole other video. So I have 5 books to talk about with you guys, and then I have a very ambitious TBR because I have ambitious reading plans in 2020. We will come back to that in the end of the year to find out if I succeeded or not. But for now, let's talk about the books that I read in 2019 in December. So the first book that I read this month was an audiobook because I needed to read some books real fast and I was not doing anything particularly exciting at work, so had time for an audiobook, and that was One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This was the YA Circle Book Club's December pick. I loved this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic and so much fun, and it was just a bit spooky. Well, it wasn't even spooky. It was like a tame thriller, but I loved the characters. I loved the mystery. I just wanted to find out what happened. It was so much fun. I loved the characters. I loved the mystery. I loved the setting. I loved everything about it. I think it's being turned into a TV show, and honestly, I cannot wait. I will happily binge this show. It gave me such Pretty Little Liars Breakfast Club vibes, and I loved everything about it. It was just so much fun. The second book that I read this month I did on audiobook as well, and that was A Swiftly Tilting Planet by Madeleine L'Engle. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't love this one as much as I loved A Wrinkle in Time, but I also didn't love the second one as much. I think there was a wind in the door. This one was alright, except it was kind of confusing in that we weren't really following any of our main characters. Charles Wallace spent the entire book kithing into other people, and we just sort of got to see their stories, and it was kind of confusing to figure out what was going on and to figure out who was who at all times because we were also seeing people from different timelines. So a little confusing to follow, still fun. I still did enjoy it, but I think that Madeleine L'Engle may have peaked with A Wrinkle in Time because neither of the books of hers I've read after that have come anywhere near how good the first one was. The third book I read this month was actually a short story, and that was A Very Medoran Kaldoras by Lynette Noni. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. This was just a cute little Christmas story set after the events of Vardasia, and it was adorable. I loved seeing all of our characters again. I loved what happened in it. I don't love the fact that it ended on a cliffhanger, so you know, Lynette, we need to have words because that's not okay. It literally ends on a cliffhanger. She was like, sorry, no part 2. Now we all sort of went, how is there no part 2? But it's fine. It's a cute little story and it's well worth a read if you have finished Vardasia and you just need a little bit of a pick-me-up after the events of that book. The fourth book that I read this month was Again But Better by Christine Riccio. I gave this one a 2 out of 5 stars. I really wanted to like it, but I just couldn't get past the fact that it's a complete author insert book and it's very unrealistic, and there's just a lot that happens in this book that I was not a fan of. I'm planning on doing a full book talk on this one because I did a couple of surveys at the end of 2019 and y'all were like, we want you to do more book reviews and book talks, and I went, okay, I can try, but those videos are always a little bit harder to do, so I'm looking forward to talking about this one more in greater detail, but overall thoughts, wasn't a fan. And then the very last book that I read in the month of December was One of Us is Next by Karen M. McManus. This is the sequel to One of Us is Lying. I was lucky enough to get a copy of the ARC from a friend. I was very grateful. She was very nice in lending it to me. This book was so good. So this book is set in the same setting as One of Us is Lying. It does not follow any of those point of view characters. We have 3 different point of view characters. We have, wow, that is messing with my lighting so bad, but it's fine. We have, so 3 different point of view characters. We have a different sort of app game sort of thing that's going on, but there is still a mystery, and the characters are really what makes this book so much fun. I loved it. I really enjoyed reading it. I just needed to know what would happen. I didn't love the ending of this one as much as I did One of Us is Lying. I thought this ending was much more far-fetched and out there, but still plausible, and I did still enjoy it, and I can't wait for you guys to read it so I can talk about it with other people. And there we go. Those were the 5 books that I read in the month of December. December. I had a really good December considering there was like a month in 2019 where I didn't read it all. That's a bit scary. But now we're going to talk about what I'm hoping to read in January 2020, and there are 6 books on this list, which is a lot of books, a lot of books that I am really hoping to read a lot more this year. So first and foremost though, the TBR Jar Challenge returns. Oh, that made such a nice noise in my ear. Alright, let's find out what my TBR Jar Challenge is for January. I didn't really succeed with the TBR Jar Challenge last year, but we're bringing it back anyway. A book by more than one author. Looks like I'm reading 7 books this month. I will pick a book that is short, would be my guess, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll find out in my January wrap-up if I succeeded or not. Haha. But the other books that I have to read, I have one book which is the YA Circle Book Club's Book of the Month, and that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Chimera. This is the first book in the, I guess it's called the Curse So Dark and Lonely series? I don't actually know. This is actually going to be a reread for me because I read it at the beginning of last year and loved it so much. I have an ARC copy. I wasn't lucky enough to score an ARC of A Heart So Fierce and Broken, which was a little bit sad, but I am planning on reading that one in January as well. It comes out on the 21st in Australia, but I figured out that if you order it on Book Depository, you can get it early, so guess what I'm doing? So I really want to read those 2 books because I loved this one. It is Beauty and the Beast retelling and it's so good. So good. I love it to pieces. Then I also would like to read Steel Tide by Natalie C. Parker. This is the sequel to Seafire and it follows Caledonia and her crew of badass female pirates after the events of Seafire. I won't go into it too much because that does sort of delve into spoiler territory, but basically she is trying to defeat evil people without spoiling too much. I'm really excited for this one. I've had it for a while now and I just haven't been able to pick it up, so I am so keen to read it. And then I have a trilogy on my list that I would like to read. That is the Truly Devious series by Maureen Johnson. So I would like to read Truly Devious, which is the first book in the series and is also a reread for me, but I read this first book back in, I think it was December of 2017. So yeah, there's no way I'm remembering anything that happens in this book. Then I want to read The Vanishing Stair. This is the sequel to Truly Devious and I know nothing at all. I know that the title comes from a riddle, but that's about it. And then I also want to read The Hand on the Wall, which comes out at the end of this month. I am looking forward to that one a lot, even though I haven't read The Vanishing Stair, but I do remember loving Truly Devious so much. So Truly Devious is set in this boarding school. There is an age-old mystery, which our main character Stevie? Yeah, Stevie C, I remember something. Our main character Stevie is trying to solve this decades-long mystery, and at the same time a new mystery arises as well, and she and her friends have to try to solve it. It's basically like a mystery thriller and it's so much fun. I really enjoyed reading this one. I cannot wait to read the sequel and I'm really excited to see how it all ends with The Hand on the Wall. And there you go, that was my December wrap up and my January TBR. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you read in December and what you're planning on reading in January because I would absolutely love to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.